You would purchase them through IONs.
Yeah, I spent 150 for this. Tom is on the green one. Yeah.
Just speaking to this mic?
Yeah.
You need those speakers.
You can do that way away from the mic. It'll still come through.
Is it better over there?
Yes.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Coates, for those who don't know me, and welcome to Richmond, Central Virginia IONS Community Group. As those of you who regularly come know, this is our regular monthly meeting, and we meet on the third Saturday of each month from 10 until noon, as we have been doing now for going on 27 years. We're in our 27th year of doing this, and we're thankful for the support we've gotten in the community, which we've continued to get over the years, and so I could have used it. In any event, we have been blessed through the years to have wonderful speakers, and there's no exception today. IONS, as many of you know, but some may not, is an organization that's headquartered in Petaluma, California. It stands for Institute of Noetic Sciences. That organization was founded as 501c3 back in 1973 by Edgar Mitchell, who was the Apollo 14 lunar landing module pilot. And after his walk on the moon and on his return to Earth, he had a unity consciousness experience, which motivated him to want to dedicate the rest of his life to exploring the frontiers of consciousness. And so after that, I think he had a PhD in aeronautical engineering or something like that. But he founded IONS as a vehicle for that pursuit, and with particular emphasis on the crossover between science and spirit. And so our community group is one of many around the United States, around the world, and which are similarly engaged, and we're thankful to the mothership, if you will, for providing us steerage all through the years. And we're also thankful that we, in this locality, have what we think may be the most robust monthly programs of any group on the planet. We've reached out to several other groups to join us on Zoom. Since when the pandemic came, we had no way to meet in person. We established a Zoom presence. I think we lost a month in doing that to get set up, but from March or April of 2020 forward, we were on Zoom alone, and then starting in the summer of 2021, we resumed in person and combined it with Zoom. And we're going to continue doing that, so that we did during that year period pick up a number of people who wanted to join our meetings from around the country, not in the local area, on Zoom, of which we're very appreciative. I want to continue that. I will tell you right now, today's speakers in person, the next couple of months after that, the speakers will be on Zoom, but we'll still be meeting in person. For those who want to see the speaker on the big screen here rather than on the TV screen, computer screen at home. I also would ask that anybody who's here make a contribution to our existence, if they will. We passed the basket for love offerings. We don't have any requirements that you give anything, but we survive only on whatever donations we get. We don't have dues. We don't have members. The only thing required for membership is just showing up either in person or on Zoom. And all are welcome. No one is excluded for any reason. And so That's our policy. It's been our policy from the beginning, and we will continue as far as we can. And I will be passing the basket. I always put a little chum in it to try to stimulate people's generosity. And so when it comes by your way, please dig deeply into your heart and your wallet and find some happy meeting ground between the two to decide what you're going to put in the basket. I think that's all I have for the moment. Before we introduce the speaker, Carol Louie is going to do the opening meditation for the meeting.
I was on a IONS program yesterday, and they started with the IONS guiding hypothesis. So I thought it would be good to share that with all of us here. It is. Everything is interconnected. By embodying an awareness of this connection, we can tap into information and energy not limited by time and space, and profoundly amplify transformation, innovation, and well-being. So as we open our minds, our hearts, our consciousness to the talk today, let us first tune in to the divine within. And it might help to close your eyes. Whether you know how to set the intention or not, just the act of setting the intention begins the process. I am now connecting with the divine within. The divine within me is connected with the divine within all of you. Here in this room, those who have joined us on Zoom, and with everyone. When we open our hearts and minds to that connection, magic happens. We become the inner shaman. So let us give thanks for the connections we have with our soul, with one another, and for what we are about to receive through this talk. So it is.
Thank you, Carol. I saw the program yesterday too, and I would urge everybody here to tune into Ion Central, because they are having some wonderful programs almost every Friday on Zoom, and they're free to sign up. Whether you're a member of Ions or not, it doesn't matter. I obviously would encourage people to join Ions if they're so inclined, but since COVID came along, they've opened up to the world in ways they had not previously. And the one yesterday involved a medium talking, and with lots of illustrations of her work, very much like our own Sandy Farmer. And it was interesting to me that IONS has, at the headquarters level, has opened up enough to have a medium as a speaker on one of its national programs. So I would again urge you to tune in if you have an hour free on Friday afternoon. sometimes people say I sound like a broken record standing up here and talking about how wonderful our presenters are. But the reason I do is because they are so damn wonderful. And today's speaker is no exception to that rule. Isabel Cristina Bolivar, otherwise known as Isa, is a native of Colombia and came to the States 15, 18, I don't know, I mean, something years ago, not long enough because she now has papers and she's a citizen and all that. And so, but she's had a remarkable journey. She does remarkable work, and those of you who read the flyer know a little bit about her background, but she's going to treat us today to some of what she does, and without further ado, I give you Isa Bolivar, who is a descendant of, I believe, of Simon Bolivar, the great liberator of South America, of eight of the countries in South America, as I recall. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everybody, for being here, and also everybody who made it here. And I'm going to try to match conversation. Yes, it's a little bit different for me to be talking about myself. And many of us sometimes feel that it's difficult to be in front of people talking about life. I am not the exception. I feel the same way. But I want that my message, that my accent can get to everybody. And just trying to tune a little bit your ears so you can understand me. And I'm very happy to be here. And we're going to start with one slide. What is it?
Oh, your slides. Okay, I didn't know you wanted your slides yet. Okay, I have to share my screen.
Just want to start with a question. And the question is, do you know yourself? Do you really know yourself? Slide 3.
Slide 3.
Each of us have a favorite childhood superhero. Mine was a twin brother and sister. They called the Wonder Twins. Their power was very special. They used to put the fix together and they become anything they want or they needed at the moment. Like chip shifter and anything they want or they need. Over the years, I never knew why I was so captivated for the power of the brother and sister. Then I understood that every power, every gift they light in us, they give in us, it only be activated if we use it first for us, and then we use it in benefit of everybody else. When we share a gift, when we know what our power is, we become more powerful. Now, just think for a moment, what was your superhero? Who you would like when you were a child? And if you close your eyes for a moment, you can become like this child and believe in this power. Everybody have a different one. You can become a Superman, you can become Wonder Woman, Aquaman, anything you want. Slide 4, please.
There's a problem with Zoom. They're not seeing the slides that I'm sharing. Let me see. Let me try to start that again.
If I'm speaking very fast, you can let me know because Spanish people will speak very fast.
Let me resume share. Let me do a new share. I'm going to do a new share. Let's see. I got them on already. Let's try this one. Sorry.
Okay, this is good. So when we go on the road, we usually have a final destination. The goal is to reach that destination. But can this be applied to the path of spirituality? It seems like in that case, it's not exactly that way. We don't know what is the purpose. We don't know what is the goal that we need to achieve. Is this goal maybe to achieve excellent health? Or maybe travel to different dimensions out of our own material body? Or maybe manifest events, peace? Or maybe just be able to heal ourselves, to understand ourselves? The spiritual path is so huge, complex, just to think about can make us dizzy. We then think where to go, when to go. This road is taking me somewhere, what I should do when I arrive. If this path is long enough, can I choose this path when I am very young? Should I wait when I get a little bit older? What is the true good for us? Is this path good for me, or just wait to see if I can see more signs and say this is the road that I want to take? When we come here, we don't bring any manual and know how to do this. We don't have any claim or complaint office. We have no idea what we're doing. And the worst thing is that we are not getting our money back. So we don't choose this path. The path chooses us. By that means, we just have to listen to our own intuition and move on the line of less resistance. We cannot change much. We cannot manipulate the road. We cannot think and we cannot where to go. We're going then to move on the line of less resistance, because otherwise the road is going to it's going to turn a little bit hectic. And this is what we are afraid of. What is this difficulty that I'm going to come on the road? It's not a short way. It's not any cut way to get to the end. It's just the road will start to choose us and to show us where to go. Then we have to start using our intuition, our heart, our feeling. Now using these things is going to lead us to a very difficult road, and it's going to be a little bit longer than we were expecting. My spiritual path is not an exception. I came from a normal, original Colombian family. I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. My father was a teacher in a men's monastery, and my mom a homemaker. My mom, besides being a homemaker, she was a woman. She's a woman. She's still here. She's a woman of awakening thoughts, and she has a lot of interest in metaphysics and esotericism. So my first my first time that I have a connection with the spirituality was around when I was 11 years old. My mom used to go in meetings with a woman that they call witch. And she was. So my mother and I, we were witches. And then imagine just 40 years ago, people talking about witches, conversation, strange things, making trips to the mountains, looking for extraterrestrial presence. Then my father, with his strict rules and religious belief, took my mom away from her path, and I was up to. So this is how my first encounter with spirituality was at that age. Then the other synchronicity was my older sister gave me my first tarot cards when I was in my early 30s. Then my younger sister did her thesis in 2002 for her university graduation between the correlation of ayahuasca and psychology. What is the treatments because between these two, ayahuasca and psychology. And then my older sister was the one who introduced me later, years later, to the community and my shaman. So this is what I call the universe preparing you for all these things.
Change it.
5 and 7. 5 to 7.
That's 6. 7? There you
When I was around 12 years old, I used to escape from school very, very often with my best friend childhood. With my best childhood friend, we escaped to see another witch. This one used to read the tarot and to use tobacco as an oracle. Imagine you at 12 years old trying to get answers, trying to find more. And this other witch was a very important person in the closeness that I get to these readings and to the perspective of all these esotericism and practice like that, because she was able to tell with precision my friend's father's death, and also she told me that I will make my future life in another country. Then my mom was in.
Are you bumping the wire?
It was in time.
Yeah, don't bump the wire.
My mom did believe in all this. She wasn't against to the readings that I got, but she did not like it because her understanding of manifestation it was very at point. She always told me, I don't want you to get readings, not because I don't believe in that. It's because everything that you put in your mind is going to happen, good or bad. My childhood was very challenging for my parents and for me. I did not like to follow rules. And I also did not fit in many places and cases. And the worst thing is that I did not try to fit it. My mom always said that I had the largest collection of the school uniforms because I used to change my school every year. The rules of my country and my society were very tight and uncomfortable for me. And I always were looking for more. I knew there was something more, but I just didn't know where to find. My father always complained to me about my English class that I never passed, and my answer was like, we live in Colombia and we speak Spanish here. So when they ask me about what I think I'm going to be in the future, what is I'm going to go to school for, my answer was like, I really don't know. I like the sports and community events. This is what was my answer. So this is very difficult when you have a family that you're expecting more for you, that you're expecting all the answers to be certain way, especially you're not the only child, but this is how we move in life, just trying to be who you are. So soon after my 17th birthday, I decided to leave my country, my family, and everything familiar for me. So I decided to come to the United States. I arrived in New York City in a very cold January of 1997. After I had an adventure in Tijuana, not really flying in an airplane or in my room, but in a trunk of a car. Now, I want you to think about it. What had limited you power? What had limited you potential? What have been done in your life that you cannot fully embrace who you are? What kind of environment do you thrive in? When you have these questions for you, then you can start to make a big picture about what is going on with you. Slide 8, please.
I got it.
And then I did my part as an immigrant. I worked, I studied English. I dreamed to bring my family here. And I enjoyed everything, the new things that this country had for me. 18 months later, I decided to go back to Colombia. I finished my high school, get my diploma. I wait for my green card, and I come back when I was 21 years old. I must admit my relationship with the spiritual realm, with the spiritual world, was overshadowed by my circumstances and my life. Besides some recurring dreams and synchronicities that I realized and put together later, years ago, I was just trying to support myself. I worked hard to also help my family. I learned English. I really worked hard to belong to this country. I want not only to be here, I want to be able to live like anyone else and enjoy to be here. And I did it all. I worked hard, I had fun, I paid taxes, I loved, and I cried. When I was around 27, my boss at the time asked me to go together with her to get a reading for a man in Brooklyn, New York. This person was able to describe with very exact the first house that I own, and also he mentioned that I will have difficulties having children later on. Also, he mentioned that I will marry and my future husband, I will fall in love first with his shoes. And he was right. So now I want all you to think what busyness have held you back from your spiritual path. Why is it became so busy for you that you cannot embrace and go on the path full range? This is another question that you can answer. Now, when I turned 31, I got married with the guy with the nice shoes. And my life continued to be just like any other life. I worked, I planned to school. I was still planning to bring my family here. It was a dream that I had. And I tried to make my own family, to have my kids and have my own family. I worked 25 years at New York Presbyterian Hospital. In this job, understanding that I have not decided to be a medical person, this job helped me to understand illness and to understand trauma and to understand human behaviors. I used to go from practice to practice. I used to pass from orthopedic surgeon to vascular surgeon to general surgeon, and I went for different departments of neurology. For me to change this job was a way to grow, to learn, to even get a better pay. But for spirit, I was in training. As part of my personal training, I developed, hold on.
Let me move that lavalier.
Maybe
It's banging around.
Sorry. As part of the training the spirit had for me, I also developed some illness. I got chronic migraines. I used to have to be medicated at least twice a week. I developed gastritis. I have a lot of anxiety because when you work for surgeons, you develop this special thing to be always in stress. And also, I used to suffer for allergies since I was a child. And these allergies start to turn as the breathing problems with the time. My breaking point was when, after few miscarriages and a failed in vitro fertilization, then I asked the universe, what is my point to be here? Why I have to do all these things, come for another country, make my way here, risk myself at 17 years old to be just here, that this is everything that I'm here to do. It did not look normal to me that our life just stopped in a moment and you think that this is it. For me, that wasn't the case. I thought there was something else there for me to do. My life obviously did not appear very appealing, and also that wasn't what I was expected. I thought that my life was more ahead. Something was there besides the material things. And I keep questioning that. I question a lot of the universe. And now I want, I think it's this. What makes you realize that there is more than an 8 to 5 type of life? What do you think? What in your concept do you think is anything else better than that or more than that? Thanks. An analogy of that is when you open your refrigerator. You want something to eat, but you don't know what you want to eat. Yes, you have every kind of food there. You have everything you want, but you don't know what you want. This refrigerator is full of many possibilities, but you still don't know what you want. Many options, but they not very satisfactory to us. Or to me in that case. I was hungry for something more. The sentence of something more always followed me. This is how one more time the universe, after I have all these questions, redirect my life for me to look in the right place. In one occasion, while visiting my country, I was in an elevator in a mall in my city. And the elevator opened the door, and there was my childhood friend.
Wow, goodness.
I don't know.
Switch to the stationary mic.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get closer to the other mic.
I think I'm better. Okay.
It's off.
So there she was, my childhood friend. We haven't seen each other for 2 years. And we,
Little louder. Closer to the mic.
closer to the
Yeah,
mic.
there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Like in the airports. That was my friend. And we just scream each other and we haven't seen for 20 years, so it was a shock for us. And then we stayed together for hours and we talked over and over. And then one of her questions was, do you still get dreams? Do you still sit and do these things? And I said, no, because in the United States, these things are not as normal as here in Colombia. And then she told me about her connection with the angels. And that opened my question about what is all this. And when I come back to the United States, I start to look into this. I start to download information from the internet. And then later on, I start to learn angelical healing. And also I start to read Angel's Card. Like many of us, I also suffer from fear. When I start to be close to the angels, I told them, I'm not ready to see you. I was afraid of my family judgment and people judgment because one thing is to say that you read the angels and you heal with angels, but when you have to tell people you see angels, you're not only afraid of the responsibility of this door, but of the judgment. I thought that if I told my family that I can see angels, then they're going to say, no, she's not crazy, she totally lost her mind. So I want you to think, when have you doubts or judgment of others hold you back? When do you think that you cannot be totally who you are because you want to be judged and take advantage of your gifts? So this is all me in different stages of my life. Because if the universe did not answer my question of why I'm here for, then I decided to answer it myself. Because we have to control our life. And I decided to go to Colombia and get plastic surgery. Because when we think that we don't get answers from the universe, well, we answer ourselves and we do as best as we can. Most of the time, we direct this thought to the more the impulse go to the more normal things in life. How we look, what we have, what we're going to do, next vacation, well, anything the normal life can give us. So I decided if I fix my outside, that would be a good answer. And I will be happy. And I don't need to wait for the answers of the universe because I know better. This frequently happens because we really know who we really are. And then we focus ourselves in the outside without think about who we really are, and our appearance doesn't really matter because everything that we need is beside us. But for many years, I was with this thought. For many years also, I was captivated by my sister and son's stories about this community and the shaman close to the house where I was living when I lived in Colombia. I wait every Sunday afternoon to call my sister to tell me what happened in that ceremony. My sister had very interesting stories from that. But one of the things that I noticed is she always opened her story telling me, they told me. And I also always have the same question for her. Who are they? So over that conversation, this they told me, it was always in the back of my head, but what it should be they. But one of the things that I always connected me to back to the shamanism and the shaman was one of her visions in one ceremony. She saw me dancing in the middle of a very beautiful flower field. And her first thought was that I'm going to die or something is going bad to happen to me. So she went and asked the shaman, and the shaman told her she is going to be one day here with us and her life is never going to be the same. Before my surgery, my sister had the idea that I should have a healing night so my big day will turn out to be good. And I arrived to Colombia and the shaman place one December 30th, 12 years ago. We arrived very early and I was so happy to finally be there. I couldn't believe it, I was there myself. We sit down and I was very happy to have time to look at everything, to question people, to check people, like what is going on here, because it was very new for me to, even though my sister told me for years all this. While I was sitting, just looking around, I noticed one person, one man stare at me very close. And I asked my sister, who is that person right in front of us? And she said, oh, one of the healers, one of the best healers here. And I said, he sees something bad in me because he can't stop looking at me. And then as I told that to my sister, I saw him coming towards us. And I got scared, like, of course he's coming to tell me who knows what. And then he just looked at me very direct and he told me, have you lost pregnancies? And I said, yes. And then he said, okay, so all these dead spirits of your babies are still around you. And this is not good for them. This is not good for you. Tomorrow, after the ceremony, just look for me and together we want to do a ritual and we want to set them back. After this, you think that you have seen and leave everything. It's more of a story. I want everybody also to think what karmic attachment, contracts, or bonds do you still hold and how you can think that you can let go.
Could you repeat that?
That's my English.
I didn't quite understand.
What karmic attachments,
Okay.
contracts, or bonds do you still hold and can you let them go? The ceremony starts around 10 p.m. After the shaman talks to the new people and he finished all the final adjustments for the ceremony. The first intake is of ayahuasca intake is around midnight. I also want to let you know that in Colombia we don't call ayahuasca, we call it yahe. It's Y-A-J-E. So yahe. So if you hear me say yahe, it's because my mind is little did I know that what I was going to see and feel that night, it was going to change my life. It's going to be my after and my before and my after. My visions was very clear. I can see energy fields. I saw very colorful mandalas. I also feel and hear the hum of Mother Earth. I saw one white big owl next to me on my right. A guy was lie down in front of me. His feet turns like cow hops. Then I saw my nephew with half of his face like an eagle and the other half was totally dark. But the more intriguing, the more amazing thing that happened to me was that every time that I looked at my hands, they shone like eagle claws. And then I thought that I'm going to get arthritis one day because I need to use my medical knowledge and my logic that night. In the morning, the shaman is always very busy because everybody has questions and visions to ask him, and he heals for morning. So when my sister saw that I couldn't talk to him, he directed me to another man, different than the one for the night before. And she says, go and ask him about my visions because I need to know. I couldn't leave that place without knowing what was happening. And this other healer can see previous lives, and also he can heal and pass messages from the angelic realm, and his connection with the angel is exquisite. So when I went to talk to him, he did not look at me, but he looked at my seventh chakra, very direct, and he explained to me that I saw and feel the Mother Earth hum and energy because I'm very connected with it. That all the owl next to my right,
Speak.
the owl located on my right was all the wisdom that I now.
Yeah.
The owl that I was on my right was all the wisdom that I brought from other lives, past life. That I can see my nephew light and shadow. I can see darkness or something evil because the guy with the cow hooves. And my hands turn to be like evil claws because I have natural healing qualities, and that was the reason. After that, I also was wondering about this phrase that I wake up in my mind. When I wake up from all that night, it was something in my mind that I feel like when you are in a school and you have to memorize something, and the phrase was, ready?
There we go.
Okay. So when I wake up that night, I also have a phrase in my mind. And the phrase was like when you are in the school and you have to repeat and memorize something. And the phrase was, you don't have to fix anything outside, it's inside you. And then I understood what my sister said when she said they told me. They told me too. No one in particular, that was when I woke up from the ceremony and the whole night this was in my mind. I don't need to ask the person about that phrase because knowing what I was in Colombia for, I understood the phrase. This was my message. But I want to know more. I want to know more. And I set up an appointment with this healer, and in his office, he shared the rest of the information. And then he told me, you're here because you are in a fork in your life. You can follow your spiritual path, or you can continue being married and working. Both paths are good. But I must tell you, if you choose the spiritual path, there is going to be some drastic changes. For example, your job and your marriage, because neither one vibrate with the mission. And it's something else that I have to tell you. You want to perform a very strong cleansing rituals. And they not going to ask you if you can do it or want to do it. This is going to land one day on your lap, and you're going to have to do it. And was because I was in a fork in my life that this opened all this information for me. So now I want you to think, when were you, myself or you, in a fork in your life? When you have to decide it? Do you choose or do you ignore it? And if you decided, what did you choose? What did you choose in the moment that you were in that road, the fork and your road in your life? After that, after the phrase that repeated in my mind and this meant information, I decided to have a surgery totally vanished. Then I stayed there for 1 month and I followed the shaman and his healers. I went for every ceremony they have and I drank 12 times ayahuasca. Then I was amazed about the work that they did. I did want to feel the same freedom. They feel very free. They do all this work with a lot of love, and all these things got to me. I want to serve like that. I was admired then, and I really, really loved what they did. So then, after a month that I was following them, the shaman, we call it the shaman taita because we don't like the word shaman, it's very strong for us. And he handled me these tools, and we call maraca. And this is the tool that healers use to heal people, and to sing during the night, and to dance during the night. And I look at him and I say, what I'm going to do, taita, what I'm going to do with this tool. And he said, you know what to do because you follow me and look at me for one entire month. On my return to United States, I have to admit I have difficulty putting all this together. And I do not feel, I was like a fly, like I didn't know how to manage to put my real life with all this experience. And then my coworkers start to see some changes in me, but I start to notice another ones. I become more quiet, more observing. I didn't want to engage in much conversations. I also become very close to nature. I want to be in nature all the time. People, they bother me in my office. It don't bother me anymore. Situations that I used to think, small things. When you work in an office environment, many things happen. Nothing like that bothered me. And then my boss, which is another Scorpion woman, told me, I don't know what happened to you. Whatever they did to you in Colombia, I want to have it too. She went to Colombia. Then one day, my nephew called me and told me that one of our friends in a shaman, they are going to be in New Jersey having a ceremony. In these 12 years, I only had 3 ceremonies with somebody different than the shaman that I know for 12 years. This ceremony was very strong, but actually this ceremony was the one who really showed me what was my work what the work is going to be. During the whole night, I was able to see the shadow of people and the illness. And every time that I look at people and I can see it, I got sick and I have to throw up. I didn't know what happened because I was out of my comfort zone. When I'm in Colombia, I have the shaman, I have the healers, I have the music, I know everybody. This wasn't the place. So then the next day, when I wake up, it's like most of the time when you receive the messages, the ayahuasca told me, this is what is being a healer if you decided to take the path. Now you decided yes or no. For me, it was a very strong message because I did not thought it was going to be like that. But then the next day, since I wasn't aware with my shaman or anything, I understood. Yes, this is going to be, I'm going to be able to see it, but also I have to know how I cannot get that sick because I did this for everyone, everybody in the ceremony. Was a tough work. Mm. Then it took me around 4 years to make all the changes necessary. I had my own concerns about what it was asking me to do about my personal life. And I didn't know what to do. Then I make another deal with the universe. And then I asked, okay, open the road for me. If this is who I need to be, open the road for me. And I start to take more classes. I took the class with Dolores Cannon, which a lot of people is familiar with. It's hypnosis therapy. I took aromatherapy, reflexology, Reiki. I went everywhere. And then finally, I left my job for 25 years in my marriage of 15 years. I want to think, everybody, what are you willing to give up to follow your spiritual path? Then the day that I resigned from my job, I felt relief, but I was worried. When I leave my office and I start to walk the same street that I worked for 25 years, I start to think and ask myself if I took the right decision. And then driving back home on the road, a car cut in front of me, which is not it's normal in United States, in New York, the people cut in front of you. But the car had this car. I took a picture, had the plate. And then I understood better because the message that the 999 number had for me is, you are ready to move and to move on, and nothing should stand in your way. If you keep going in the right direction, your angels will be there to assist you and encourage you. Keep in mind all that you have and how fortunate you are to be alive. You are one of the kind in the. What message do you receive? What signs do you receive? And we totally know. And we keep going and we pay attention. So for me to leave asking myself if this was the right decision, having a connection already with angelical number healing, just to see this card in front of me and the way that he cut, it was simple answer. I don't have to answer it. And I don't have any more questions. Of course I do, but at that moment I was like, okay, I better don't ask anymore. For many months after that, I started to travel to practice Dolores Cannon method because I was one of the few who did it in Spanish. And then I also escaped to Colombia to continue with the ceremonies. And my life and my shamanism started to be very normal to me. I always feel at home. I feel more strong, and I feel like I found what I was looking for. And this is how I become with the idea to gather people together to go and take the same experience that I have, that I was fortunate to have. 18. The more that I navigate this shamanic path, the more I start to discover about myself, my healing, and my medicine. We all have medicine. We all are medicine people. We just have to know which kind of medicine we have. I kept seeing and experiencing the shadow of people and the places too. I wonder all the time why the shadow is so attracted to me, or I was so attracted to the shadow. At the same time, I was seeing myself and dealing with myself healing. I experienced many situations that I was very lucky to be able to do this healing for myself in the company of my community. Then I have moments when I have to do this healing just by myself. And after many years, I understood that the healing is being done in solitude. In solitude. You have the tendency to think that it's always with somebody else. As the time passed, I keep remembering and learning because this is what the healing told me in my visit. You are not here to learn. You are here to remember. And then I took that serious because every time I did not thought I was learning, I thought was in training, that I was remembering what all my previous life have to give me and take it from there and bring it to this experience of my life. I have I have noticed, experienced all the changes in the people that come with me to Colombia, changes that I perceive in myself, changes in behavior, thoughts, sickness, cancer, people able to heal relationships that can heal for years, and many more. But the one that I really am sure, I really can share with you and sure to share with you is my own healing. The migraines disappear. My allergies that I suffer since I was very little disappear. And also my gastritis disappear. With the help of these ancestral practices and medicine. And I want you to think, what is your medicine? And what is the medicine that you are called to share here in your reality? What you make the promise to the universe to share at this time of your life. On my path, I have learned every time that no matter the situation, I was pushed to go back to myself, to heal, to recognize and observe my life. I was also told to look deep into my family roots, to my ancestors. We need their strength. We need their wisdom to pass for our own experience. This is very important to understand that every living tree needs strong roots to expand, to grow. The ancestral practices serve me as a bridge to the connection with the divine, to Mother Earth, to animals, plants, and elementals, to recognize who I was and what was my true mission. Not only understand the connection with everything, but to learn, to have understanding and compassion, to be patient with others, and the most important thing, the relationship with myself. We can get lost and obsessed in how to digest this information and to apply all this to our real life, to feel joy, to feel fulfilled. And the phrase that we're using a lot lately, to have a meaningful life. Our life and health do not depend on medicine. It depends on how satisfied we are, how much we love, and how much we love, how we can transform our lives like the best alchemist, transforming every situation, every difficulty in our benefit, to become a better version of ourselves, to trust. Because if you trust, you believe. When we finally understand the true meaning of union between us on the level of planetary consciousness, we began to take more serious and to see the need for let control go. We don't need to compare ourselves, or we don't need excuses. Then we can accept and realize that all we are unique beings with different gifts, different tools, and that we are all here with a mission. The idea of healing and lover of selves become a priority because you doing your healing and loving yourself, you heal others, and then you can accompany these people in their path too. The universe sent us and show us many kinds of signs, synchronicities, and with each obstacle, what the universe wants to show us is how to travel this path. The universe wants us to travel the path with a light luggage. Doesn't want us to carry so much. This is what I learned, and this is what I'm dedicating my life to locate that luggage, to transmute your energy and emotional and generational backpack that affects your physical body and then we transform in illness. I bring in back the part of your soul that is left behind somewhere in your story. When we abandon our more profound desires, ideas, plans, moments, our passion, our beliefs, where because of the life circumstances, we forgot the experience of authentically and genuine receiving and give love. The love that we experienced when we were children, when we stopped laughing, when we stopped dancing, and when we stopped dreaming and allow ourselves to be vulnerable and bringing back all these pieces of you to the present moment. The space of the shadow is a very tiny space. The shadow is very intelligent too. It hides in layers and layers of excuses and fears, so for us not to see it. And then it ended controlling us. Each practice, each practitioner is different. They have different energy, different purpose. Just like each of us, so diverse, so unique. When we understand our own energy, the power that resides in us, then we can focus to the right direction and make the right decisions. We are not always aware exactly what is blocking us. What is that not allow us to take the right path, to make the right decisions, to see, to feel? Why and what doesn't allow us just to be and move to our life purpose? We also struggle to discover what are we passionate of. What I cannot recognize my true essential, my true potential, my true happiness, and my true mission. So here we are together in the most important moment, the present moment. Here we are remembering, bringing back the pieces of our own life puzzle, remembering that we are all light. We can cultivate our mission. We can cultivate our intuition. We also can rely on each story, in my own experience and your experience. Other life experience can heal us too. Our life story can heal somebody else too. It doesn't matter how many times the universe sends us to have a U-turn, sending us back to rectify something, to rewrite our story. No matter how many times we have to go back and pick up these pieces when we left it behind. It doesn't matter how many times we fall, we get lost. We want to think our life is like the fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel. They leave all the pieces behind to be able to go back home. We have to remember all our way back again. This is how the universe talks to us, and this is the path. Are you ready to answer that call? The call to serve and co-create with the universe, with our authentic and genuine gifts. To be with all the strength and love of our hearts, and accepting the divine and true hero they live in each of us. I want to share, this is my speech. And that's my story that took me to this place and this moment. This is the shaman that I've been working for 12 years. I am very pleased to announce that he's going to be here in Richmond, in the United States, from June 12, starting June 12. We're going to have different ceremonies here, of course, in Richmond, and we also are going to announce a project that I've been working for several months with Carol about community. And of course, nothing better than have the shaman to let you know that we're going to have shaman on board with me. And it's going to be different ceremonies, not only plant ayahuasca, but we're going to have different ceremonies for tobacco, healing, one-to-one if you want to see him in private. He's going to be available too with previous schedule. So this is so far how the schedule goes. We can open more ceremonies or different things we want to share with everybody here. I'm very happy that at this moment he make his way here. Slide 22. As a shaman, I'm going to recommend everybody if you don't have to be a shaman for this, but it's very important for everybody to have a sacred place in your house. A place when you only go and not only talk to the divine, but you have this private place for you when you feel happy, when you feel that you're recharging your soul, you have your tools, like this tool, whatever tool you have, your crystals. We don't recommend that having them around the house. It's some place when you sit and you feel this connection in contact with the divine. I always recommend it. And it works. It works because energetically it changes your vibration. You connect better when you have everything in one place, and you start in that way to build your own shaman at home and start to get in touch with these practices. I gone to what time?
11:30.
This was
Till
about
12.
Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about the practices that I have done during these years. Of course, is ayahuasca, but I am a moon dancer. This is only for women. Any women wants to come this year. We dance to the moon for 4 consecutive nights. We do fasting, we do sweat lodge, like we have 12 of them during that time. It's 6 days, but the dancing is 4 nights. And this is very good for the feminine women to do this, open up our sense. We dance for our ancestors because they were the ones to put their steps here first, and here we are because of them. So we dance in honor of them, but also we have different experience where we can understand more about our powers, our gift, and what we can bring to the community. It's mostly like to find out also our power animal. This is the way, like in the shamanism here, people want to find their animal power. We dance. So that night is 4 nights is pure connection with the moon, and it's only for women. No, actually, I have to say, men can participate in the ceremonies too, in the moon dance, but they only take care of the fire. We call them the firemen, not fire, they the fire, but fire, and they also take care of that for that time women. So they are there to take care of women, to bring them. They have chocolate. They're not allowed to see the dance. The dance is private. We cannot. We don't record it. We don't take pictures. It's something very private, very beautiful. The other medicine that I have made different medicine, but the more that I can, the other ones you when you connect with medicine in that level, you try many things because every medicine gives you something. The other one that I also do is kambo. Kambo is the frog medicine. It comes from a frog from the Amazon. The shaman captured the frog and blow tobacco straight on them, and the frog start to feel nervous, and that is venom. What they sweat is venom. The shaman, very careful, take this venom, and then what we do is in ceremony, everything is done in ceremony. They burn a little bit of skin and they place this venom in the open skin. This is not like ayahuasca. You don't get any vision. This is strictly for medical reasons. This medicine boosts your immune system, reset your organs, and is for every type of sickness. My shaman doesn't do combo, but I want to fix that. I want to bring the combo lady. It's a shaman who does the combo. I have done also peyote in Mexico. I have done salvia. All these things for me are sacred. It have to be done with ceremony in a very, very respectful way. This is not something we do to get another vision, to have a trip or anything like that. The first thing that I tell people, I use my visions to let people know that when you're ready, when you are ready and the universe is ready for you, you found out the answers. Because I don't want people to think that they go to ayahuasca and they go to see the owl, the eagle. No, everybody's different because we all have different paths. So a spirit give you exactly what you need in the amounts that you need. Because what I have found out that first ayahuasca night, to this point, if I knew everything, I couldn't handle. So it's the process. Um, what else? Okay, so I also want to let you know that I live here in Richmond. I do ceremonies. I see people. Um, we we do different. We do tobacco ceremonies, but not only the tobacco that we smoke. We have a way to transform tobacco leaves in medicine. So some people already have experienced that, and it's the same medicine that I used for 12 years, and that I cure my sickness. So this is something that real work, and that is my message. It's not because I read it in the book or somebody told me. I am the example, and I did know, and I know what is missing, I know what is working, and has chronically sick. So, of course, I also have to tell people 50% of the job is being done through us, through a spirit. The other 50% is your job. If you want to heal yourself, if you want to change, if you want to direct your life in different ways, then you have the strength to make these changes. Neither the shaman nor ayahuasca will do anything that you don't want. So doing this, if anyone has any other question, I have to thank you, each of you. Some people that I know, some people that I don't know, but everybody, it was very peaceful listening to me. And thank you for your presence. It's an honor for me. And I guess we'll see you in some of the ceremonies. So just to talk, just to learn more. If you just want to see the shaman for healing, for a healing session, we want to be available for that. And thank you again to everybody. Thank you.
So anybody on Zoom who has any questions, just raise your electronic hand and I'll see it. And anybody in the room here, I have a microphone for you.
Here.
Yeah.
Here's a thank you so much. I especially appreciate you doing it in English for us. I know it would have been easier for you to do it in Espanol, but it was really wonderful.
Yes, actually, when Tom said that she's been here for some years, here for 35 years, but my accent never changed.
That's okay. That's okay. First of all, I'd like to, in terms of the shaman coming, having encountered Carlos the shaman myself, I would recommend him to anyone on planet Earth. He's an absolutely wonderful fellow with great integrity and great wisdom. It's great he's coming to Richmond, but I commend you for getting here. One thing I'd like to ask is this. The Western mind, the American mind in particular, is the United States mind as opposed to the South American mind. It tends to think of, you refer to things like plant medicine from the shamanic perspective. From the person on the street perspective, that just means another drug, another chemical. And there's a tendency in our culture, in this culture here, to reduce all this to simply chemical interaction. And I know that the shamanic perspective is that the plant medicine, the ayahuasca, be it that, or be it peyote, or mushroom, whatever, has an intelligence of its own that is interacting with the intelligence of the recipient, and that there is an interaction there that's unique for each individual, each encounter. Could you elaborate on that from your perspective? Because that's something that most people in an audience like this will not have an intuitive or practiced experience of understanding. Thank
Thank you, Tom. Yes. It's many people who go to Colombia and Peru and all these places thinking they ayahuasca is just another. Ayahuasca have healing powers and also is very intelligent because some people think that they choose to have ayahuasca. No, ayahuasca chooses us. And if you are not ready to see, it's not going to show you anything. But the more important thing about ayahuasca is not the issues, it's the healing process it produces us. When people say I'm going to have ayahuasca or I have life changing, I went and I have ayahuasca on the weekend and I have a life changing experience. Our life doesn't change that night. This is just only the beginning. And this is what the ayahuasca does. It opens doors and opens things and take things for us that doesn't serve us, but we don't want to give it up because we like the comfort zone. Ayahuasca is done in sacred ceremonial places with people who knows because this open a lot in us. It confronts us. It takes our ego and shows us part of us that we are not happy or ready to see, but that we need to heal. So when people think that it's just another night or something, doing something else, I have to tell people take it serious because you're playing also with your psyche. Ayahuasca is very complex. The shaman people can give ayahuasca, not because they should, but people do it, and that's okay. I would say not okay, but if you're thinking you can do it, do it. But what happens is the combination that you have, the part of the healing, but also the part of the vision. So I can give you ayahuasca and you can see something, but what I want to do with what you see. Let's see, I don't know have anyone to explain to me what was my vision, what I was there for. So when you found a real shaman that is healer that gives ayahuasca, is the perfect combination. But is it only to see and to have ayahuasca just for because it's another fun thing to do? No, because um, it's not convenient for people. It's not responsible. It's not very responsible to do that, and then you will not take the full experience. I tell everybody you should give at least one chance to give yourself this experience, not because you're going to be like me, but it's for you to open that door. For me, since I'm strong-headed, I'm rebellious, and I need something stronger than a Reiki. I will not fix myself with a Reiki. So spirit and say, this is what you need. Otherwise, it's strong. It show you. They tell you, like you say, they tell you, who tell you, no, they tell you, and they tell you what it is. They show you what it is, and then in that moment, they do a sacred ceremony with this plant, in this environment, you have the moment to see yourself in the full bloom, and you also start to feel the things that you don't need, but embrace the ones that you love about yourself, and accepting the ones that are not that good. We all have that. It's not an exception. We don't become saints when we drink ayahuasca or anything like that, but we became real. We became genuine, accepted, God, and that is what I think and say about ayahuasca. And thank you, Tom, for that.
Okay, we have a question from Zoom. Whoever Galaxy S8 is, please identify yourself and ask your question.
Hi, I'm in Houston. This is Cheryl.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Interesting. Now, you can hear it through my computer? Okay.
You are able to hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so very much. I've been, you touched on what my question was in your last answer. I've been realizing for many, many years that I was called to try ayahuasca. And I've not done that because I intuitively knew that I needed the right shaman guide. There's plenty of people I can find around here who are offering ayahuasca journeys, and I don't feel like they're the right people. As you said, you need the right guidance and someone to help open your vision with you, help translate it for you. I know I have healing abilities in my hands, as you mentioned you do. I'm just wondering, down here in Texas, I'm so sad that I'm not going to be in Virginia to take part in what you guys are. How do you, on a limited budget, how do you find such experiences that are quality and purposeful?
Better budget. We can go there with the shaman. I don't have it in my announcement because we haven't final.
Yeah, Dan, the video feed for us on Zoom of Ms. Bolivar is frozen and we don't have any audio. And I guess you don't hear me.
I sent a chat to Dan.
Thank you.
And this is still, you're still in Texas?
Yes, I'm in Houston. Is this Jonathan?
This is Jonathan. Who is this again? Cheryl?
Cheryl. Yeah, Cheryl Norris.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hello.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear
Yes.
us?
We can.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
but I didn't hear any of her response.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what is your name?
My name is Cheryl.
Cheryl, okay, I say that I'm talking with somebody in Texas to see if we can put together a ceremony there. The ceremony will happen in Corpus Christi. I don't know how far away you are from Corpus Christi.
It's about 4 hours, but that's doable. I'm in Houston.
Okay, so if we finalize this ceremony there, it will, if you email me, I will let you know, and if you have more people, that will help us, because it's good to have at least anything from 20 to 25 people to be able to go to some place. Less than that is difficult. But also, if I know somebody in Mexico, you can go to Mexico. I don't know how that is for you.
That actually might be better. Okay, I'll email you. Thank you.
Yeah, email me and I send you any information that I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a question here in the room.
Hey, you mentioned, all right, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
You mentioned that you saw energy fields in your ceremony.
Mhm.
Did you ever see energy fields before the ceremony?
No, never. My visions as a girl was just normal, like sometimes when you stay, you can see people, and then you feel like it's somebody when you are alone and you see, and you think it's because your mom left you alone, and I'm seeing this, I'm scared, I'm seeing this. But I have intuition. I think of always my intuition, but my eye wasn't open for that. I also one night able to see and feel what I see and feel that night. No, that was exactly. And I was questioning myself, because the thing with ayahuasca, also, like without being connected with it, we also was able to see one time Archangel Michael.
Sending Dan a
Open that part of you that for everything that we go through life, we are not allowed to do it. But the idea also is to move from the ayahuasca ceremonies and be able to do this with no ayahuasca. Because we cannot be there forever. Okay, if I don't go to Colombia, then I can do anything. No. The idea is to collect all this information for ayahuasca, open our sense, open our eyes, and be able to move to the day-to-day life. That's going to be move forward so much.
So it stayed with you where now you can see energy fields all the time?
Energy fields, the spirit of the plants, animals. This is the connection that you have. You know, like you like to go to the forest, but you really don't know exactly the connection. Ayahuasca opened that because it's totally connection with us and the Mother Earth. So all this, yes. And I can see the energy fields of people. And this is all done through the work that I have done for all these years.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Jonathan is on Zoom. Unmute yourself, Jonathan.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Sonaste anoche o con la presentación de hoy? ¿O que te llamaron hace 12 años?
Sí.
In English?
En inglés, por favor.
I'm wondering whether you dreamed of your presentation today, last night, or before you began the journey. I think you said 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
And if so, what part dreams and the traditions have, especially to the feminine, from where your experience is? Perhaps even as an alternative to medicine.
Well, alternative to medicine to be able to do what I do, I'm not exactly understanding your question.
My question is about the dream tradition that are part of this area of Colombia and of maybe even the Wayuu and other indigenous tribes that also use these plant medicines, earth medicines. And I was wondering, if that was part at all of your shaman, your experience. I understood that often they greet one another asking first, what did you dream last night?
What I dreamed last night before I did my speech? This is your question?
If that's part of your practice or experience.
Well, I don't think I dreamed last night because I was worried about my speech. That's true. No. Shamanism is different in every place. Like for Americans, it's very important that they drum. We don't drum much. We only drum because we sing through the whole night. Some people use candles, some people use, but the one that I encounter very similar is plants. All the shamans use plants, different type of plants. For example, Mexico and Colombia are very close and they both have shamanism. But our plant is ayahuasca, Mexico have peyote. There are two sacred plants, but they're two different, they do different things. So we use different things to get to the same point. Because I hear, let's see if I talk to the Russian shaman that I know, she used another things like beeswax as an oracle. I use tobacco. We're going to get to the point in a different way. Dreaming, not necessarily. When I dream very little, but when I dream, it's very exact. I can feel smells, I can touch, I know I'm dreaming, it's very clear, but it's not one of the things that I do. No. Did I answer your question, Jonathan?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have another question in the room.
Hi, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's very beautiful. And I know it's not easy to get in front of people. I feel the same. So about 8 years ago, I went to Bogota, Colombia, and ayahuasca found me. So I did 5 ceremonies. And what I wanted to ask you was about seed planting. They planted a seed in my heart that was from motherly love. And it was a ceremony that we did, and I was in ayahuasca state, and it was some smoke, and they blew something into my heart. And I wanted to know and then I've been reading about seed planters. I didn't know that was a part of anything. It was new to me. If you've heard about that or do that, is that new to you as well, or the seed planting?
It is new for me for the ayahuasca part. One of the things that happened in the ayahuasca in my community is totally a healing process. We do not plant anything, we don't do rituals. This is only healing, and this is only a connection with yourself and everything else. But I know about this planting healing for the other tribe that I work with, is the women tribe. And these women do this planting, but it's different ceremony because they don't do ayahuasca themselves, they go to another place. They do this for, we call pagamentos. And we don't plant it in the people's body, we do it on earth. We plant seeds and we do pagamentos in that way to plant our wishes and to let go things that doesn't serve us anymore. Sometimes I tell people the ayahuasca is strong in self. It's a strong process. It's not a comfortable night. So my shaman is very smart in thinking that he doesn't have to put more extra things in. You're already going through a lot. Like when you go to Peru and you have to fast for days and days, we don't use that. We only do it for the 2 days before the ceremony. And we don't do anything else. Only in the morning after the ayahuasca ceremony, we do ambiling rapé, which is medicine, the medicine that I use for myself. And this is everything that we do. Because to treat, like to put things in your body, we feel responsible for that. So I do not know about this. And my question is, do you feel concerned about this? Or do you just okay with that?
I love having the seed of motherly love in my heart. It's something I never had before, and I was missing it, and they gave it to me as a gift. And it's been growing ever since.
I want to know more.
Yes. It's a beautiful process, but ayahuasca has been working slowly through my life.
Yes.
Changing, growing, learning. Yeah. So
this is the path of ayahuasca.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's a question that was brought up online asking where someone could find out more about the women's retreat.
Okay, so I forgot to mention that. So since there is a lot of women in all ages so willing to open the door to all this, I asked my other tribe, women tribe, to see if we can put a retreat together, and it's going to be this coming October, just for women. If any man wants to go, we're going to be taking care of the fire and give us hot chocolate, and you are welcome. So it's actually very beautiful when you go there and you see all these men, because we all dress different, and doing these things, and not being, understanding what fire means to us. Because like when you put a fire, for me it's sacred. You just don't throw any chemicals there. If I'm doing a ceremony, it's my fire, I have to take care, because fire also has life. It also talks to us. So all these things to learn and to bring it here, and know that when you are in your home with your wife, if you go to the wife or your girlfriend, you can sit down and know what is the fire mean and what is it, sit down to do medicine and start. This is what I say being a shaman. Shaman is not only ayahuasca or any plant, is transfer this knowledge to our day-to-day and have it like a lifestyle. My life is a shamanic lifestyle. And yes, I can, I look normal. If you see me in the street, you never know what I'm doing. But to live in this connection with everything else, because this is what happened. We got disconnected and we don't know all these practices. They bring us to the center of us and to the present moment. So I want to, if Tom allows me, I will put that information in the IONS group when we have, when it's going to be the retreat, and that you're going to see for yourself all this activity, and then maybe in February, you decided to go and dance with me for 4 days to the moon. So we all welcome to do that if you guys are available. So yes, I will put that in the finance groups.
So I have a question. As everyone has noticed, we've had a lot of electrical glitches. Not yet, next month. And in my work, I know that that's when people from the other side are trying to get our attention. So I was wondering if you or anyone else is aware of that, you know, as you say, be present to the moment. So I couldn't leave after that last glitch. I said, oh, they're telling me to bring this up. So maybe you know.
Do you have a question?
Yes, thank you. I've noticed that when you advise us about coming into our power, our own power, you emphasize trust. Could you please explain what you mean about trust?
I found out that whatever is our fear is always our power, because we fear how powerful we are, but that we don't trust. You can believe. We all the time say we believe in God, but then if we want to jump on this cliff, we jump in the cliff, we don't think that God is going to wait for us down there. We have to know for sure what is down there waiting for us. When you trust, you don't need to know who is catching you down in the hill. You just know you're going to be catched. That's the difference between trust and belief. I can believe in anything, but I don't trust. Trusting is just even without not seeing, you believe. So let's see my example. Everything pinpoint me that I need to leave my job and my marriage. This is security. Job means that I have how to make my life. Marriage is like I've been married for 15 years, what my family is going to say, what I'm going to do, somebody else is going to look at me. All these things that as a person we question, but I trust these words. I trust what it was told, this man that translate my vision. Everything I trusted, and I made the changes without know that I'm going to be ended here telling you guys all this. I didn't know, I didn't plan, I just went. And this is trusting. We don't trust because we like security. We like to see, oh, and now I see, now I know. We don't need to know. Because if we trust our power that we hear, we don't this, that they send us with all these tools, and then we really in communion with the universe, with them we trust, and then for them we believe. One of the things that I always tell people, and it's very important because we also do it, sometimes things doesn't happen to us because we don't have a straight line between what we think, what we feel, and what we say. So the universe, we talk to the universe and we tell the universe something, and we thinking something else, and we feeling something else. So the universe is like, okay, make it up. You want something, but you feel something else and you think something else. The straight line to be centered and together in communion with the universe is to have that line very, very straight. What you think, what you say, and what you feel is the same. And then is when miracles happen. Because there's no neutron, is a straight line. So you don't need to know what is in the end of your path. Just walk your path and you will be surprised. Thank you, Robert.
I actually have two questions. As you know, I have a lot of questions always,
Yes,
right?
I know, but it's okay.
So first question is, for example, a person considering to do ayahuasca. So what would you advise them? They're like, oh, should I do it? Should I not? Like,
Okay, this is a very good question. One of the best things that I tell people works is you start journaling with ayahuasca, because the plant have conscience. The plant listen to us. You don't believe, you trust that the plant works like that. So you start to develop, because when we write, believe it or not, there's a lot of healing in writing. And many things that you don't know start to make sense. So let's say you totally convinced you're going to experience this. You start to write. You start to tell the plant what are you doing. Because the shaman is going to ask you, what do you want to try ayahuasca? First, he's going to ask you if you have any sickness. Because this is another thing. Everybody is different. So everybody do not have the same amount of ayahuasca. Depends on the situation. So what do you hear? The shaman will ask you, what do you hear? What do you want to try ayahuasca? Some people say curiosity, like me, curious. Another people can say, I'm sick and I'm healing. Oh, I have a lot of traumas. I hate people, I don't like people. All these things, he's going to know exactly what kind and amount he's going to give you, because also he managed to have two different kinds of ayahuasca all the time. So start writing. Because you don't want to do this and lose an opportunity, a very good opportunity to discover all these things about you and about your life and all that. So write. Write, because you don't want to get there with, oh no, I don't know, whatever. Because we know if we don't ask, no one answer. If we don't knock, no one open the door. So go with that. And yes, it's good to be conscious about food. If a month or so, just, if you like sweets or fried food or something, but it's not necessary, because we recommend it to the people. But this is the best way to be conscious what you want to do that. Why you want to go through this experience, to get the best benefits of that. So I would recommend that to start to connect with the plant, and have the expectations for the plant. What do you want to get for that? And thank God, because when I take people to Colombia, I managed to make people to have at least 2 ceremonies, because the first one is difficult. You don't know what you're doing, you're nervous. We can play games with ourselves, and we don't want to see, and we don't want to. But then the second one, you know the place, you know the people, you know where you go, you're more relaxed, and you get more benefit. Thank God he's going to be here long enough to people to maybe want to have this. This is going to be good, because our message is not about this as recreational thing. This is about really healing and taking an opportunity there. Some people are afraid, and maybe now a little bit more comfortable to experience, because it's something that can help us to be one in our life. You feel must trust, you trust more. So you more. Okay,
so the second question is, would you tell people what else do you do? So we know you do ayahuasca, you do clearing. So would you tell more? Like, I know you did beautiful ceremony before we got married last year. You did clearing for like us as a couple, and you also perform this beautiful ceremony at our wedding. So would you tell people more? Because if person wants to work with you, like, okay, what do you offer? Would you expand on that, please?
Thank you, Ola. Yes, I do, I can do Reiki, I also do the regressions. Mostly my job is to, when I see you in consultation, I can see things that you haven't let go. Things that doesn't let you make that decision, take the right path, go without fear, open your eyes. And then using my tools, my intuition, and the strength from the divine, I put you in a ceremony and I clear these things to you. If you have difficulties still with your family, your parents, your ex-husband, kids, life in general. So it's just like this luggage that you carry every day. I just help you just to throw it. You don't need it anymore. It's too heavy. Why we want to work like this? I also do moon ceremonies. I'm going to open up this space for women here. They we don't really be told or explain how powerful we are when we have a menstrual period. What we can do with this. It's a ceremony for this. It's a ceremony for our daughters to understand that we don't have to do all these things, steps that we have to do to discover your power. There's a lot of power in the women, feminine energy. It doesn't mean there is no power in the masculine energy. We need to balance this. One way to balance is to heal our male energy and also our feminine. We have both in us. So one of the things that we only think about, let's see, being a woman is, oh, we have the period, it's painful, I can do it, I can get dressed, everything bothers me. It's a reason for that. Our body is talking to us. That's the reason the song get very upset and angry when we have this hormonal change, and other ones do not feel anything, and we have to understand our body, and we are disconnected with our body. So we need to connect that too, and this is all ancestral knowledge. This is not something that is going to teach any other place. And understanding our body, honor our time of our period, but also the time when we don't have a period anymore, when we become without menopause. It's time to honor that because we are grandmothers. When we are grandmothers, we take care of people, we can do medicine, our intuition is a point. Open all these spaces for women. We don't have all this knowledge here. And I know because I grew up here. I came here very young, and then connecting with that too. And this is Mother Earth. We in this earth, we are here to walk our steps. For our ancestors, they did not have the same chance to step up here, like my mom, to talk about this and to help people. Just, I'm not helping. I am you. I'm the assistant to walk with you. I'm walking with everybody through the same place to just awake all these things they are in us. We just have to, like me, remember, and we're going to remember together.
Probably about half of my caseload of clients have chronic pain and autoimmune conditions. And I wonder what your experience is with ayahuasca and if anything shifts for people with autoimmune or chronic pain after they have ayahuasca journeys.
Yes, since all this year, not only the people getting brain, but people, you go to, we call the place when we had the ceremonies Maloka. And when you go there, you see people from many other places in the world. And we come with the understanding that every single pain, everything that reproduces our body is a trauma that we have. So the shaman is very good with that. And that's the reason that I recommended also to see him in a private place, because this is something is like ayahuasca have the healing part. And he has his healing, also his healing qualities, and they work together very good. I have seen people to suffer for, let's see, back pain for years, and then they cure that. I have seen people getting to their ceremony in a wheelchair and walking the next day. I have seen people carried by people because they can walk, and then after a ceremony, they can walk. I don't want with this thing that you think that this is like a miracle and Jesus walking to United States to be with us. This is also, we have to understand, some people come here with karmas, and if they choose this karma, they don't want to get well, nothing is going to work. So this is one thing, but yes, a lot of lower back pain, people with chronic pain in their body. And this is the good thing, because people do not give them the chance. We take any type of medicine, but when they say something like this, we are like, no, 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 I am afraid. No, 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 this is good. And this is good that people take this experience. Also, people think that if you have, let's see, mental issues, somebody have mental issues, psychological issues, you cannot drink ayahuasca. You can't. When you have the person who directs you and help you with this type of sickness, because like I say, it's a correlation very close between psychology and ayahuasca. So this ayahuasca is medicine, period. If no one understand or want to say like that, it's difficult because what we do is not, I don't bring people to Colombia to do tourism. We don't drink, we don't dance, we don't go out, everything is about healing because this is what ayahuasca is. In all these things that I do is only healing and medicine for our soul, our body, and our spirit. So I would love to see you friends taking advantage of that. It would be good. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, that was really wonderful. And another example. Closer, like that? Okay. Thank you, that was wonderful. And another example of why we have been so blessed in this group. And I'd like to comment too today that we have, by my count, I think we had either 48 or 49 people here at the peak and in person, which is, like to say again, welcome back to everybody because we're slowly but surely rebuilding our physical presence here. And we had a pretty good group on Zoom too, I think. Okay. So we're coming back and thank you again. Next month we have another great program. It's Susanna Red Elf. Some of you may remember her from 8 years ago. She was here. She was here in person then. She lives in Atascadero, California, and will be coming to us by Zoom. Susanna is a channel of the group called the Council of One, which many of us in the group are familiar with. And she's probably the preeminent Council of One channel on the planet, as far as I know. And she's really great. So the session itself will be largely a channeling session. And it ought to be wonderful. Invite everybody to come in person. We'll have her on a big screen. We also invite all those that in Zoom land to join us on Zoom. In June, we have Dane Wigginton from Lake Shasta, California, who will be talking to us about atmospheric things to do with what is it? Contrails. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And he's one of the preeminent experts on the planet on that. In July, we'll have Jim McCarty, who is a surviving member of the trio that brought us the Law of One, the raw material back in 1980, 81, 82. So we've got a great lineup coming forward, and we look forward to everyone who's here coming back. Anyone who has not signed up, who's not been here before, and is not on our list, we invite you to put your name and email on the sign-up list at the door, and so you'll get our flyer each month. And those out in the Zoom world, if anybody wants to be on our list, all you have to do is send an email to me or check our website, blissfulnions.com, and you can get on our email list so you'll get our monthly flyer. So again, thanks everyone, and it's been another great meeting, and look forward to seeing you all next time. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to end the meeting for everyone, and we'll see you next week. Or next month, right? Next month, right?